The Solution Showcase on AI-led Innovation Capability Center to Value Center. In this session, we're going to explore how businesses are harnessing AI to spark innovation, to reimagine processes, products, elevate customer experiences, and transform themselves into truly value centers of creation. And this is where the future of GCCs is headed. And today's speaker is someone who has been shaping the future across regions. Our next speaker is someone who has been instrumental in guiding enterprises across Asia Pacific and the Middle East on how to truly harness the power of AI. He is the Chief Practice Officer for Asia Pacific and Middle East region at Fractal Analytics, where he heads large-scale AI transformation programs for global clients. With deep expertise across analytics, decision sciences, and digital strategy, he's helped organizations reimagine customer experience, unlock operational intelligence, and build data-driven enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all put our hands together and welcome Mr. Sandeep Dutta.
Thank you.
Mr. Dutta.
So I think the last panel discussion is the perfect segue into my presentation. But I'm going to start a little differently with a video for you to watch.
Well, it's finally happening. The robots. They're coming.
Hi, Avery.
Maybe that's a good thing.
She said what?
She said what?
What? I was ready like a full 20 minutes before you. What are you talking about?
We are now connected to our plans. Sorry.
No, stop. It drives better than you do, babe.
He does. Bye, robot.
So Waymo, 250,000 rides a week across 5 to 6 cities in the US. Much better driving record, much better safety record than humans. So it's magical, right? We are living in an era where things that are happening today are truly appearing magical. And a lot of that is driven by AI. What is different about AI? This time the technology understands us. Typically, many of you have seen technologies that came in. You want to use SAP, you got to learn SAP. You want to start using a new CRM software. You got to train people on CRM software. Now we are seeing technology that we don't have to learn. It learns about us and it adapts to us. It is responsive. It is responsive to our needs. Technology which already knows everything that is there to know in the world, right? It's learned every knowledge, everything, read every document. You don't have to go and teach it anything. And technology that is now agentic, it has got the agency, it can act by itself, it can carry out activities that you want it to do. And what's happening? This is getting adopted very, very quickly across the world. If we look at the usage, 980 trillion tokens is what Google has talked about being processed every month across its products and APIs. Google AI Overview, already 1.5 billion users. Amazon, in its operations, is deploying 1 million robots. And I think very largely unnoticed, the amount of robots deployed across supply chains, across warehouses is enormous. And all this while, the cost of using this technology is coming down, right? While we all read about the investment that is going into AI and the data centers, etc., the inferencing cost, the cost of actually using this intelligence is constantly coming down in multiples. Yet, the headlines that we see, and I'm sure all of you have seen it, are about how AI being leveraged in enterprises is failing. 95% of organizations, if we were to go by an MIT study, 95% of the organizations fail when in converting POCs into successful programs. So why do we see this dichotomy? So much of AI excitement, very little organization result. And that, I think, is also leading to what we are all seeing now. Is this all a bubble, right? I'm sure that's the hot topic everyone has been reading about. And anyone who was around in the 90s and early 2000 who saw the dot-com bubble would say, deja vu. Is this what we are heading to? I think a lot of questions around AI's return on investment are coming from the fact that the adoption is much more in B2C, in your consumer world, rather than in the enterprise world, where the real returns are going to come from. And that's a question, I'm sure, as all services organizations, we also have to now answer. There's been talk about AI. It's really disrupting our world. I think the last panel also talked about it. Is it going to significantly change how we do work? Is it going to significantly change the number of people we deploy? Does it change the way we look at our business processes? I think all of those questions are very, very valid, right? But how do we respond? All GCCs are services organizations. Fractal, that I represent, has also largely been a services organization. This is a question we are also grappling with. If AI will change the nature of work, if the cost of intelligence is coming down towards zero, and that means that it will be much more easily deployable, it's much more easy to experiment with, it's easier to start using it, and we will be forced to look at every business process and say, how do I do it differently? Which part of it can I automate? Where can I use an agent? Then what do we do? What is the future for us? How should we respond? And I think the questions to answer are, now in this changing world, what do we develop? What do we build? How do we upskill and enable our people? How do we transform our business models? Are there new opportunities that were not available to us earlier that we should start taking up today? And how do we drive this cultural transformation so that people are open to adopting it and actually start using it? And I think everyone in this room needs to start thinking about these questions. In the next few slides, I will give you some suggestions from our side and some examples of what we are seeing working. But this is work in progress. I think the technology is changing very fast. All of us will need to be very, very good at adapting and adopting new things. So, big question, what should we do? Number one, and I think this again was touched a little bit in the last panel discussion. How do we start making sure that our people are ready for AI? And I think this has to be across the organization. Of course, it is not one kind of training or not one kind of familiarization for everyone. I think it has to start from the leadership. If the leadership does not really understand what a technology means and what it can do and what it can achieve, what is real and what is just hype, then they cannot set the right path forward for the organization. It is not only for the technical people. It is, yes, very important for the technical people to upgrade, right? Everyone who is in software, data scientists, everyone will have to upgrade their skills. It is also about all the non-technical people, because they are the ones who have to use AI. If they are combative with technology, if they don't trust the technology, then no amount of brilliant innovation you do in the enterprise will lead you to success. So it is very important to also train your non-technical people, train the users, and while you're doing that, keep the user in the middle. Don't think about the tool. Think about what is their daily life and how does it come into that and how does it make more productive? How does it make it easier for them to use? Just as an example, so Fractal has an analytics academy, and we also have our group company Analytics Vidya. We have been working with multiple clients and multiple GCCs to help train their entire audience. And one of the examples is where we have 20,000 learners. These include data scientists who are getting upskilled, data engineers who are getting upskilled. These include users who are getting familiarized with AI. Number two, we have to embed AI in every business decision. And again, we have to look at it at different levels. If we just use a simple continuum, that business decisions are either recurring or one-off. They are easy to frame or difficult to frame. They have small impact and significant impact. So just taking this simple continuum, you can look at strategic decisions, which are typically one-off, more complex, difficult to frame, and have significant impact. Think of, where do I put my next plant, right? Or where do I put which is my location for my next GCC? Where will I get the talent? Those are really strategic decisions. They will continue to be led by humans, but they have to be informed with much more insight. You have to leverage AI to make sure you're taking the right decision, data-led decision. Think of the next level of decisions, which are somewhere in the middle of this continuum, right? Which are tactical decisions, right? I am looking at my marketing mix. Where do I spend my marketing dollars, right? Do I shift 30% of my spend from digital to, offline to digital channels, etc.? Those kind of decisions, again, human and AI agents are going to come together and take. And the last, which can be very impactful, are all our operational decisions. I've taken the strategic decision. I've taken the tactical decision. It has to be executed. Right now, I took the decision that I'll move 30% of my spend to digital channels. Now, what is the campaign? How will it be run? How do I get my marketing, emails out? Those are the kind of operational decisions that can be totally taken over by AI experts, AI agents. However, of course, like everything, it needs governance, it needs guardrails. You cannot just let it run on its own. We've all heard of responsible AI. We need to bring all those principles into play. But the main point is that every decision that we take in the enterprise can leverage AI, and we have to start thinking actively, how do we make sure that it is leveraging AI? An example, at Fractal, we have created something called Cogentic, which is our platform which can identify any process. It has a repository of tools and agents, which all the common processes, all the common activities are already identified that you can start using. And I'm going to give you an example of something that we do a lot in GCCs. Of course, GCCs have all been about taking on processes and running them more efficiently, more effectively, things like financial processes, reconciliations, IT processes. I'm going to give you an example of I2C, automated with agents. Just going to run another small video.
Every year, global enterprises lose billions. Not to fraud, not to theft, but to something hidden in plain sight, their invoice-to-cash process. Wondering how? Well, it's missed follow-ups, manual disputes, payment delays, and disconnected systems. This isn't just inefficiency, it's cash trapped in chaos.
Meet Cogentic Invoice to Cash. Agentic AI that doesn't just manage, but optimizes and transforms your entire cash cycle. It's built for finance teams that value operational precision and measurable outcomes. Cogentic tracks over 300 KPIs, all in real time. It autonomously classifies deductions, resolves complexities with Gen AI, and prioritizes intelligently to reduce DSO. Cogentic triggers intelligent nudges and alerts to act at the right moment. It also offers a network of specialized autonomous agents, trained, tuned, and constantly learning. Guided by the orchestrator who connects the dots across your invoice-to-cash value chain, Cogentic empowers every collector, analyst, and finance leader with contextual insights, built on 25 years of AI excellence and trusted by Fortune hundreds globally.
So I'll move on. I think the core processes that you run, I think all of them, you've got to start thinking in agentic. Also, all the support processes. How do you run your organization itself? For example, hiring is a very critical part of what any services organization does. I'll take the example of Fractal. We process about 150,000 candidates to hire for ourselves every year. We hire only 1,000 of them. That's the process. 150,000, maybe 15,000 we test. We interview 10,000 and we hire 1,000. Today, we have totally agentified this process. We are using AI across all parts, not just on resume matching, for the actually running the test, a progressive test to test you based on your skills and your prowess. And then the interview is run by a bot. The interview is recorded and then analyzed and provided back by AI. What it allows us to do is we can now process 1 million applications. We can test all of them and we go ahead and then see once the testing and interview is done by AI, then we see who is manually interviewed by humans, and then we still hire the 1,000 people. But what it gives us is the fact that whenever we need, we have this entire tested and verified base ready to go dip into and see who do we need to bring into the enterprise. Today, we are taking this hiring engine also to our clients. We call it Ikigai, and if anyone is interested, happy to have a demo of it later. The last one that I'll say is that as GCCs, you are all very uniquely positioned. I think we referred to it in the last panel discussion. I think Aditi talked about it, the fact that the GCC really represents all parts of an enterprise today. It's one of the few places where deep institutional knowledge exists of different functions, of different regions, of different business lines. And there you have the access to one of the largest pools of AI in the world. You have a vibrant tech ecosystem. There is an opportunity to move beyond just looking at the processes you already handle. There is an opportunity to think of what are the large business problems your enterprise is trying to solve, what is important for stakeholders and customers, and start driving and those solutions from here. Right? For a long time, we have been the execution arm. Can we become leaders and start creating those products and solutions that can be taken globally? And I'll give you an example. We were working with a client where we were doing one part of their personalization journey, a typical holy grail problem for marketing. How do I understand my customer to the power of one? And then design something for them. In the same GCC and another part, they were looking at running campaigns, right? And as we worked together, we said, how can we bring all of this together using AI and look at the entire process end to end, which in the end, what you want to do is you want to run a very effective campaign, personalized to the end customer, which gives you the business. And that's what we start working on. This is still work under progress, but it is something called Campaign Assist. And I'll again play a small demo to show you
Every
what
second,
it does.
thousands of campaigns go live. Most go unnoticed. Behind every launch are teams buried in meetings, handoffs, and spreadsheets, spending weeks doing what should take only days. Customers expect relevance with every click, scroll, and interaction. Instead, they see the same generic messaging. The result? Declining engagement and burned budgets.
Introducing Cogentic Campaign Assist, your intelligent partner for marketing transformation. Powered by agentic AI and behavioral neuroscience, Cogentic Campaign Assist turns 15-week campaign creation cycles into 3-day launches, boosting campaign ROI through hyper-personalized marketing. It all starts with a simple brief to define your campaign goals. Cogentic Campaign Assist fuses enterprise data with live customer signals. It anticipates intent and predicts the next best action for every individual, dynamically building perfect audience segments. It also instantly creates personalized creatives with the right visuals and content, ready to save and export directly to your CRM for.
So from doing these things in different silos of the GCC, it is all brought together through Campaign Assist, right from taking the brief, creating it into the signals using prompts, and then getting the entire campaign done by GenAI up to the creatives. So everything is done through to this tool, and then it can send out the actual campaign emails, etc. also. So in this example, it was just, that this is a very personalized campaign depending on the kind of profile for selling home loans. If you're a couple versus a family versus a single person, you're going to have different triggers that will get you to respond to the campaign. So to sum up, what are the next steps? Reskill and reshape for the AI future. Get everyone ready for AI in the organization. Reimagine every process with AI. Every business process is going to change. Nothing is going to be unimpacted. And last, look at now designing AI solutions for the firm that you are in a unique position to design, because everything that the enterprise does, only one place represents them. Mostly it is the GCC, and you can now take that, make it, and roll it out to the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dutta, for that very special showcase. I think it's fascinating to see how every session on the stage is adding another layer to our understanding of the GCC ecosystem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we move forward, I request the team to kindly put out the QR code for the ET Edge Insights on the screen, please. Please take a few seconds and scan this. Make sure that you go to our handle, which is ET Edge Insights, and our booth outside, specially curated as a photo booth for this moment, where you actually click a fun photo and share your learnings from today's summit on LinkedIn. But do not forget to tag us. That is ET Edge Insights on LinkedIn, a great way to connect and participate and take the learnings beyond this hall, ladies and gentlemen. So please make sure that you light up LinkedIn with all your learnings today. And speaking of celebrating, this evening is very special, and it will have the much-awaited felicitation ceremony for the organizations that are truly setting a bar in the GCC ecosystem in the country, a moment that we're all looking forward to honor the innovators, the disruptors, and the visionaries who are pushing the envelope in this very dynamic sector. And now, moving forward, we're getting into a very interesting panel discussion that brings us to one of the most important conversations of our times. We're talking about the architects of AI, the leaders and the experts who are building capable, responsible, and domain-specific AI models that go far beyond experimentation. The discussion that's coming up next will be exploring how GCCs are developing AI systems that are not just intelligent, but they're also grounded in governance, ethics, and real-world impact. From generative AI to genetic AI, from autonomous decision-making to AI that drives operational efficiency, from leadership insights to responsible deployment frameworks, this is the shift that is transforming GCCs from execution hubs into global innovation powerhouses. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a stellar panel coming up to take this discussion forward. Please stay with us for a few more seconds while we take time to set the stage for the panel. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me quickly invite our formidable lineup of speakers to take the panel discussion on architects of the AI, building scalable, responsible, and domain-specific AI models forward. Please put your hands together as we invite VP Engineering and MD of Pure Storage India, Mr. Ajay Motaganahalli. He is being joined by the Digital Transformation Leader, Global Digital Hubs Leader at Carrier, Mr. Kamal Sharma. We're very glad to have amongst us Global Leader, Data Insights and AI and India GCC Leader, Circle K, Mr. Sushant Bhushan. Very glad to have amongst us VP IT and Head of Digital Hub India and South Asia, Cluster IT Head for IT Bayer, Smita Negi. A very warm welcome to Mr. Akhil Merchant, Global Capability Center Leader and Board Member at Randstad. Extending a warm welcome to Mr. Vivek Gaur, Country Head and Managing Director at Colt India, VP Engineering, Colt Technology Services. Very glad to have amongst us Vice President Information Technology at Midland Credit Management and Encore Capital Group, Mr. Kamaljeet Singh Bedi. And to steer this conversation ahead and draw the best out of each of the panelists, please welcome the moderator for the panel, partner at Deloitte India, Mr. Satyen Makhija. Over to you, Mr. Makhija.
Check. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Clients typically come to us, consultants seeking answers, but the way AI has evolved over the last, couple of years, I've realized that it's equally important to ask the right questions, right? There is just a plethora of information available.